Hello everyone, I'm Rachel, your host, and welcome to the Urban MBA Enterprise Journey show. Today we are going to be talking to a few mompreneurs like myself to talk through our businesses and what it's like to be a mompreneur in the industry. Welcome ladies. So today I have Simone and I also have Sam here. So please introduce yourself.
I'm Sam and I run Find a Balance, which is a mental health organisation, and it offers a bespoke service to individuals and their families from BAME communities, Black, Asian, minority, ethnic groups.
Hi, my name is Simone. I'm the owner of Lily of London, and we do candles, holistic candles and melts.
So how has, things been for you guys? I mean, obviously we're going back to school with the kids. So what are the challenges that you've faced or what the success stories, if you'd like to share with people on here? Because I know for me, the first couple of weeks of when we were on lockdown, and homeschooling was quite challenging. I was working and then I was having to do the homeschooling, cooking, cleaning. I was going absolutely bonkers in my mind. So I don't know how it was for you guys.
Obviously, it's a massive change because, you're used to getting up, getting on with things, going to your business, the kids are out at school, it's a routine that you're used to every day. You come in the evening, you all gather together, but then it was a thing where you couldn't leave the house. The kids are in all day, and you are not just their mum and a business owner, you also become their teacher. And for me, I ain't got a clue about, my daughter was doing A-levels, so I ain't got a clue about the subjects that she was studying. But I had to support her and keep them going because there's a lot of anxiety, there's a lot of uncertainty, and young people, they miss being out, they miss that physical interaction, they miss seeing their friends. So you had to support them with that. So I had to try and keep a balance with still doing the business and keeping the kids up to date. How was it for you?
It was tough because my children are quite small. They're only 3 and 4 years old. We didn't do homeschooling, so I was trying to entertain them through Play-Doh, drawing, but at the same time work on the business. And my children, because of their ages, they couldn't understand that mommy has to work. So all the work that I could do was in the evening after they went to bed when mummy was very tired. But as an entrepreneur, you just get on with it, and
exactly.
it has to be done. And but we managed, and it's so much better.
What was nice for me when the kids turned around and said, what, Mum, it's nice having you at home this much, actually.
Yes.
Because you realise how much time you spend outside of the home.
Definitely.
So that was nice.
Did you guys have any spare times to yourself?
Like, not at all. Very, very limited. It's only in the evening that I will maybe get an hour, half an hour to an hour before I had to go to bed.
Yeah, it's night time.
Right.
Definitely night. Forget it in the day.
Yeah.
Your days were stolen, weren't they?
Absolutely.
Stolen.
But you did find some like, even if it's an hour, you did find that time to yourself.
Yeah.
It's quite important as well
Yeah,
for you to kind of reflect and kind of, bring yourself to the centre.
Yeah.
And focus on yourself and your own goals and what you want to achieve, and have that peace and quiet just to stop your mind from racing and just find that stillness in your body.
Absolutely. Oh, we vibing.
Yeah. I had to what I did was, because at first in the beginning it's a big shock in it what's going on. You've got to try and adapt. So eventually what I said was, right, I have an hour lunchtime. So when I'm out, I have a lunchtime. So I'd go in my room, lock my door and say, right, I'm having my time now, and I'll take like an hour and an hour and a half, and the kids would still come and knock, but I just ignore them. I had to.
Excellent. For me, I start from the morning. I wake up really early before he does. I go for a quick run and then fit in meditation.
Yeah.
Then I start my day, and that kind of helps. Once I've exercised, that helps me, stay focused throughout the day, and then I'd start doing my cooking, etc. But yeah,
standby meditation, very important. Morning and night, have to.
Definitely.
So I guess it leads to my next question for all of us, really. How do you get to working events, where you are? Because obviously right now we're still on, things are slightly easing off a little bit. But prior to it, how
What,
do you
before it started?
Yeah, with the kids and everything, how do you kind of balance it?
I remember when I started off in the very early days, when I was just beginning and I had the idea, and I went to Urban MBA, and I was liaising with Kofi, and he was saying that, you've got to network, you've got to get out there, and just network with people from the industry that you're going in, that's what's business about. So I was like a busy bee, like just out networking. I was everywhere. I made it my point of duty to get to know people who is doing mental health, what other organisations, like my competition, and what do they do, where do they go, what forums is there, etc. But obviously now everything's online, isn't it? It's different.
I think for me, initially, networking, Kofi used to say, like, you need to network. He would call me, like, some nights, come down. I'm like, I have my son. What am I going to do? I'm like, I don't want to, like, burden my family to continue to look after my child. So I feel guilty if I was to take that 1 hour away from my child. So I was like, I would decline a lot of the time. So I feel like there's been opportunities that I've missed along the way, because I've met Kofi now, like, at Urban MBA for the past 6 years. And he's seen me through so many different kind of ideas. Again, obviously, like we just spoke about earlier, probably wasn't my time then. But now I feel like the opportunity is there, and things have just gradually kind of just flowing. And I'm doing different networking, Zoom, Zoom meetings, meeting different people, calling. So there's, in terms of like having that flexibility and not being scared to, ask for help, I do that. I rely on my family sometimes, or I bring him along.
I must admit, I do everything with my children. So I bring them to meetings, I bring them to when I have to meet a supplier, or when I have to go in and do a bit of a sales pitch, I bring them with me. And I have found that people respond very positively to children, and they love having them in their shop, even if they touch everything. And I think that's how it is. Being a mum, that's how it is. Your children are your first priority.
Exactly. So you can do it. You can.
I was lucky because I've got 5, but when I started 5 years ago, it was like my eldest was 26 and the youngest was like 12. So they could babysit and look after each other. So I was fortunate to have that. So that was a big help. Otherwise, I would have the challenge of babysitting and things like that. These are things you got to think about.
And it's not easy, Whenever I travel, I need to have several types of bags with me. Changing clothes, a snack bag, water bottles, and I do feel, walking around with all the extra bags, but that's my job, and that's how it's done.
You've got to be organised as well, because
you have to, otherwise you're just not going to achieve anything in life.
Exactly. So I guess the next question is, what are the key kind of advice, should I say, or pointers or tips that you would give mums that are trying to set up their businesses, and they're a bit nervous or they need help? What are the kind of advice you would give those that are watching?
I think reach out. There are a lot of people that are willing to help, and especially Kofi at Urban MBA. He's been fantastic. So thank you, Kofi.
Yes.
And if you have family around, I can help you with the childcare. And I think one main piece of advice will be, don't put too much pressure on yourself. Just take your time. And it will be done. You will reach your goals, but just be kind to yourself and don't pressurize yourself too much, because that can lead to stress, and you don't need that in your life. So that's what I would suggest.
Excellent. And yourself?
I would echo that. Definitely, if you can get help and support with starting your business, because it can be overwhelming, it can be scary. You know, Kofi was a big part. He helped me to start. I went with an idea and he helped me create it into my vision and something realistic, and 5 years later I'm still here. So, you know, Urban MBA was a great help to me. But I think that, you know, before you start to pilot your business, because you've got to pilot it first to see if it works, don't get wrapped in the fear of starting, because fear holds you back. And definitely organise yourself, because your kids are there, they're not going anywhere, you know.
Great.
So just organise yourself and get some support with your kids, because it does get overwhelming. Your business becomes your baby. You become passionate about your product, your business. So really just organise yourself and make sure you have things in line to support you, because it does get really challenging.
Yeah. Absolutely amazing. And that's, you know, one of the things that, you know, I find challenging, and I'm going to ask you what you find challenging as well, because I've just, obviously I see it as a startup, is that, you know, getting the finance in order and the cash flow. And we spoke about this, Sam.
That's a nightmare. Oh my cash flow forecast was a nightmare. That was one of the things that I didn't want to do, and I shied away from it. And I remember, as I said, Kofi, at Urban MBA, I'm in the office, I never forget it, I can see it now. And I was sitting there and I was saying to Kofi, I can't do it, Kofi. I'm not good with numbers, I can add up, but cash flow forecast, what do I know about that? I come from employee background. I can't add up all these big figures. And he went, sit down, Sam. Yes, you can. And he broke it down to me step by step by step. And after about 2 sessions, I completed, and I went, Kofi, I've done it. And he went, see, you can do it. It's so scary dealing with figures, because you know what, you have your idea, that's how it starts, isn't it? It's an idea, you have the vision of what you want, but when you start to work towards it and you start dealing with figures, it's so overwhelming and scary. You know, for me, I didn't want to address that, but with the support from Kofi, I did it. But the cash flow forecast was a nightmare. Now, I would offer support to people with that now. It's easy, because it's like learning to drive. Once you know, you never forget it. That's how it is, don't you agree?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Do you have similar experiences as well?
Not with the cash flow, but I had, what I found challenging was actually finding the time to get that peace of mind that my brain needed to actually think. So, okay, I made this product, what do I do with the packaging? What distribution channels do I want to go down? What route? And I just finding the time when my brain could actually think in peace and quiet, that was the most challenging, because I just never had the time. And it was always interrupted. I had 5 minutes there, 10 minutes there, half an hour there, but never a long period of time.
Amazing. Yeah. So guys, you know, being business women, what do you find with, you know, social media? Because a lot of us, we have to put a lot of content out there constantly, and having the time to do that while you're running your business. How do you guys manage your time?
Well, I'm not managing social media very well at the moment. I'm finding it really challenging. It's a lot of information that I haven't had time to actually sit down and look into it. So definitely at the moment, social media is one of the hurdles that I need to overcome. But with help from Urban MBA, we're slowly getting there, and hopefully, you know, in a couple of weeks' time, I should ace it. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Ace, I like
that. But yeah, no, I'm not enjoying social media so much now. Candles I can make, no problem. But no, social media, it's still a struggle at the moment.
So what about you, social media?
I was the same in the beginning. I was the same. I was just like to Kofi, what do you mean doing all this on social media? I'm doing mental health. It's like, no, but you have to have social media, like, you know. And then, you know, Kofi supported me doing my social media. So now I can do it, but finding the time for it is still a bit challenging. But of course, Kofi gives you tips on how to address that. So I use an app that sorts it out for me.
So
you know.
in terms of the time scale,
Yeah, and when it goes out and everything.
Excellent.
But you'll have to come on Urban MBA to find out what it is.
For me, I find social media quite easy, to be honest. So I just put my content and schedule it, and I just push it out. You saw us earlier with the kids while we were eating, right?
Yes.
All that is content for media.
All right, okay.
So yeah, you just find things just happens as it is consistently. And with social media, you've got to be consistent. People want to see what you're doing every day as much as you don't want to, but you have to show it to them. And that's part of, you know, them getting to know you and what you are doing. So if you can give them a little bit about, you know, your home, being a mom, what you're doing with the kids and how you're managing it, that's all part of it. You selling it to your market, you know. Okay, excellent. I guess on a final note, do you have anything else to share with the audience in terms of businesses? This is your time to kind of, you know, tell people.
Yeah, you know what? I'd like to say that if you've got an idea and you want to start your business, like I said before, don't let the fear get hold of you. If you don't try it, you're not going to know whether it works or not. You know, get onto Urban MBA, that's what I would do.
Definitely.
Honestly, I would, because that was my starting point. I just had a conversation with Kofi. I had told him what happened. It's from a personal experience why I started my business. I come from employment background, I was a civil servant, and something personal happened in my life, and I was saying to Kofi that I can't believe the statistics are like this and etc. And he just said, there's a business for that. Why don't you go for it? You know, and I just try, you know, because you won't know until you try, and prepare yourself for it, because it is a challenge. But just like having a kid, I know that every mum will say, you know, it's the best job they've ever had. Challenging, but it's the best job. Like, just try.
Yeah, I agree with you. I would say just reach out. There are people out there that can help and support you. And if you have a business idea and you don't know where to go and how to go about it, please get in touch. Urban MBA, and Kofi is fantastic at adapting himself to different businesses, personalities of people to work with. So highly recommended.
Absolutely. I'll just echo on that as well, that there are a lot of supports around. Obviously, we've been privileged enough to have Kofi, but you'll find that within your own network, there are people in different industry that will be able to kind of give you that kind of advice and lend you their hand, as long as they see that you've got that passion within you. I found that recently I've had so many different people kind of lending their advice. I'll be honest with you, 4 months ago, this was not me. You know, I was like literally at home not knowing what I was doing. I was going through different kind of emotional issues, and then I had a chat with Kofi and the one other business lady, and she was like, you know, my year was literally just thinking my son has to pass his 11 plus exams, and I've been telling that to everyone. That was my focus this year. Came January, and then March we had the whole pandemic, and it just changed life for me totally, and I just kind of like ran with my passion. So my moral of the story is, like, just go with whatever idea you have. It's not, don't think that it's small. You know, once you start planning and mapping out your ideas, you just see everything kind of fall into place. You see that the universe just brings different kind of people to you to help support you and lift you to where you want to go. So I hope you found our chat very helpful. I hope, you know, you've been able to pick up some gems from us. Make sure you continue to watch our next episode. Thank you very much for your time, ladies.
Thank you.
Very,
Thank you, Rachel.
good chat, ladies.
Thank you.